Welcome to my home garage. So today we're going to start I don't know how many part series on how to maintain your X5 latest gen G05. So first thing we do is we got to start the car and warm it up before we drain any of the fluids and we go through any of that. All right, so let's get going. Now that you have your vehicle warmed up to operating temperature, we're going to put it in lift mode, which means the suspension will not adjust whether the car is raised or lowered. So you just hold this for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. Light goes out. You are now in lift mode. You're going to do the same thing to put it back into regular mode. Okay? So now let's turn the car off. And then you're going to open your driver's door and you're going to open your hood latch, which is down there. Welcome to my home garage. So we're going to tackle the front differential service, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but the fill is behind there, okay? Maybe you'll be able to see it from here. I don't know. Right there. Right there, see? There's the fill. And it just blocks this area. Very easy. Just some 8mm bolts. So there is our fill plug. I don't know if everyone can see that. You can kind of see it through here. There it is. Okay, so we're just gonna pop that open, and I just didn't want to make a big mess. That's the one thing I didn't want to do. And I'm gonna put a bunch of rags down in there in case anything falls. All right, so we are gonna have to remove this lower plate. So let's just loosen off all the bolts. Give us access to the front diff drain plug, which I thought there wasn't one, but it turns out there is. Okay. What else? This one. What else? Is that thing holding it? That's part of it. This one as well. I guess these here I gotta take off. All right. We are gonna remove this cover here, just to remove these screws so that the plate is safe to come out. Okay. Although there's nothing holding it back here, so let's get the old gun on this and have some fun. Okay. The only thing holding this thing up right now is this one here, I believe. Nope. There's more. Where? Maybe under here. You don't see any more plates here. What this is? Another. I guess it's another bolt. One more under here. Under this. Okay. And then there's one more over here, which is missing a plug. Okay. So there's a plug missing on this. Good to go. Okay, so this is a reinforcement plate, so you have to make sure that this thing goes back on properly. Okay, all the bolts should be clean, lubricated. Okay, here's our diff. Oh man, we got all kinds of room under here. Okay, beautiful. Take a look. All right. There's your diff right there. So we're just gonna drain the remaining fluid out of it. I thought you had to do it all from the fill, like the rear, but there's actually a drain plug here. Okay. So we'll just fill the rest of our bucket up and get a really good idea of how much oil was in this thing. Oh! Classic mess. Stinky front diff fluid. Makes sense. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. So it's about not even a liter. So it's still not even a liter of fluid. All right. So we got a lot more out, but it's still not as much fluid as they tell you to buy. All right. We're gonna go in with rain drain plugs that have an actual magnet on it. All right. So that's good enough. They're aluminum. Okay. 30 foot-pound, 33 foot-pounds. Okay, there it is. Beautiful. Wipe up your mess. Well, it's gonna make a mess anyways when we fill it. But this takes G2 fluid. Okay, now when we fill it, we can make as much of a mess as we want. Okay, we can put our fluid over here. All right, so now I'm just gonna do the same thing I did with the other one. Except this time we're using G2 fluid. Right here. And I'm just gonna pump it in. The same way. Yep, got room. So I'm just going to, well, we'll get a drain going here, just in case. Looks like that's the spot. So our first bottle's here. So the drain is just, it pretty much mirrors the rear diff. Careful, there's fluid everywhere. Okay. So we just want to make sure our hose is clean before it goes in. Same idea. This is G2 fluid. The rear is G3. So just don't fill it up all the way so that you can tilt it up and not lose any, like this. And then you're gonna get up here and just start filling. Okay. Okay. So one of these bottles is half a liter. So let's see if this thing was underfilled from the factory. I'm starting to think maybe it was. Okay. Okay, that's all the fluid from one bottle. Let's get the next one open. Okay, we don't want to waste what we don't need to waste. So I'm just gonna go slow until it starts dribbling out. Okay, still not draining out. Okay. Oh, I think it might start draining out as soon as I put a little bit more in here. Let's see. There it is. Okay. We don't need to waste this. This stuff's like $70 a liter. It's crazy amount of money. All right, let it drip. Once it's done, put your cap on. Same thing, everything aluminum. I'm going with all these new seals. Everything's new. Alright, it's kind of a pain to get your hand in here. It's like a two-hand job here. Just in a weird place. What are you gonna start by hand? Okay. Oh God. Get this thing started by hand. Not fun. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we can go in with our extension again, all the way from the side. I recommend, if you have the time, take out the tire, and you'll see how much easier your life will be. Okay, so tightening it up. Then we're gonna torque it. We're gonna wipe everything down. So our torque is already set. So we just have to put it on. Okay, and then torque it out. And there it is. That's torqued. This was torqued, right? Done. Wipe everything down. Last thing we want is to think we have an oil leak when we don't. Wipe everything, because you probably got a bunch of things dirty. Okay, perfect. And once you're done cleaning all that up, now you can put your plate back on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean all these bolts and put some anti-seize on them. I don't care. My car. So they're a little rusty right now. So all I'm gonna do is grab some anti-seize and put on the threads. We're never gonna BMW would probably say replace all these bolts every time they come off. Nobody's doing that. So I'll check the torque spec on this. It doesn't seem like too much. Seems like it would be the same as the cross members on the top when I did the air filter. Except these are all rusty because of where they are. We do not want to cross thread any of these. They look like they might have had some form of, I don't know, silicone or something on them. Okay, there we go. That's all of them. Okay, get our plate. It's completely dry. We should just wipe all the dirt away. They might have been off-roading at some point. I don't know. Okay. If you guys watch from here, you'll see that I'm just gonna put this thing on. Well, it takes full tank. Alright, anyways, nothing to do about that. It's full of sand. Alright, so it tucks up under here. You want the cover under. Alright, once it's lined up, get one bolt started. right, we gotta slide this over more. Okay, so this has to come under. All right, so I put these on prematurely. All right, it has to slide under this part here. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is remove this part again, or actually just I'll remove this and this. And that'll give us the room to put this under there. Okay, there. And then slide this back under. All right, there, that's better. Okay, now we should be able to move this around freely and center it nicely. Okay. Putting these all in by hand. Not gonna reef any of these on. All of them start first. This is literally what a plate that prevents, like, it holds your engine in a way. Another one here. Another one over here. Make sure you can get them started by hand. Okay. Okay. Make sure we can get this one started by hand. Doesn't want to behave. There we go. Just make sure they all go in by hand first. You don't want to tighten them yet. And there's two more hidden in here, and there should be a plug for this, but it seems like we're missing ours. We got one. Okay. Now that that's on, we'll just generously, slowly tighten these up, just to butt them up. Make sure that your bolt holes for this line up. Okay. So make sure your little screws here can go back. All right. Okay. There should be one more there. Where did it go? Okay. Okay, there should be one more screw somewhere. And here it is. Okay. There, beautiful. Now let's check the torque spec on this. All right, so the torque sequence is 56 Newton meters plus 90 degrees, which is 40 foot-pounds plus 90. Okay, got it. So, plus 90 degrees. Start here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now 90 degrees. Allegedly. Okay, that's good. I just spilled all my extra diff fluid. Darn it. There's like, that's what $100 looks like. All right, guys, so that's everything under here done. I have a cover to put back on that I removed. I don't know if I needed to remove it, but honestly, it made my life a lot easier. And it's this cover right here. I don't even know if you guys can see, but it's pretty much a cover that goes here. It goes like this. So to get it on, you kind of gotta go like this. Gotta feed it in behind the wiring, and then it'll want to go. There. Okay. And it just kind of fits in like that. It has a bunch of screws. All right. I'll put those screws in, and then we'll tighten them up. It's just one extra step in removing the wheel, right? And this cover to have better access. I don't think it's a big deal. I actually think it's beneficial to do it. Okay, so one's here. Okay, we actually made a mistake with our screws. Let's see. We shouldn't have put this one in here. So this thing must have a home somewhere else, right here. Okay. The same idea. I'm just putting these in. Done. This one and this. There's literally just, look here. There's two up here, one there, one here. Obviously, you gotta take the wheel off. That's the only downside, and just unclip these two wires here. Then you just put them back in. They're not a big deal, and it makes life so much easier. So now I'm just gonna put the wheel back on, clean up my tools, and like you see the room. Like if you try to do it without taking the cover off, I don't recommend it. Here is the difference between the brand new front differential fluid and the old rear differential fluid. It's a considerable difference in quality and color, so it definitely is a good idea to change it.